Hello, welcome to the Nintendo Bros podcast. This is Pete.
And this is Derek.
All right, there we go. We're right on cue, Derek. Finally got
Perfect.
it.
Yeah, finally sorted it out.
So, how's your week been?
It's been... You okay there?
Sorry, I'm just clearing my throat.
that's what a mute button's for there, you know?
Sorry, I don't know how to do that. Okay, tell me how your week is.
My week has been pretty good. Kind of slow, but pretty good. How about you?
Pretty fast, actually. Been pretty busy. I got vaccinated.
Oh, nice.
I got tested 3 times.
It kind of is annoying, getting it up your nose.
Yeah, but I got tested 3 days in a row for this.
That's what I mean,
for this job, yeah. And it came back negative the first night. I still had to get tested the next day. It's like a constant daily testing they're requiring.
But do you need to do it even after vaccinating?
Yeah.
Oh, dang.
Well, I don't know after the second vaccination, but after the first one.
How long is the job for?
Just 8 days.
Okay, so not too bad.
It's not too bad. Anyways, let's talk about video games because that's what our listeners want.
Yeah.
We just dated ourselves. Well, I guess we're always dating ourselves. But anyways, I guess there's a lot of news today. There's been a lot of news over the last 2 weeks. Why don't we start off with some of the news from today? The most exciting news. I know you're really excited about this. We've got a brand new Sonic Colors coming. It's actually not brand new. It's a remaster. It's called Sonic Colors Ultimate. Coming to every system under the sun on September 7th. Now, did you ever play Sonic Colors?
I did not. I was going to ask you the same thing.
Okay, I did. I actually had it on Wii.
Okay.
And I think it's one of the best Sonics, for sure.
Yes, I was reading about that. A lot of people agree it's one of the best Sonics and probably one of the best platformers on the Wii is what people were saying, so...
Yeah, I mean, underneath Galaxy and Donkey Kong Country Returns and a few others, of course. But it might be. I mean, it's like, I really like Sonic Adventure 1 because it's nostalgic, but I haven't really liked many of the other 3D Sonics, except for this. Generations was okay. Did you play 3D Sonics at all, or?
I've played maybe one or two, like, I remember playing the one on the Dreamcast, and then otherwise I don't, like, I've touched them if a friend had borrowed them, or owned them, or rented them, or something. But I certainly have never picked one up myself and played through. Okay,
well, I've played every single 3D Sonic other than okay, there's a lot. Sonic and the Black Knight for Wii because it's kind of a spin-off, almost same control scheme-ish as Sonic and the Secret Rings on Wii. I haven't played Sonic Forces, the new one. I played, and I haven't played Sonic 06. So I think I've avoided 3 of the not so good ones. But yeah, I played every one. Sonic Adventure 1, 2, Heroes, Shadow. I played Colors. I played Generations. The one with the werewolf. Sorry, got a itch in my throat. Anyways, I'm gonna get Sonic Colors Ultimate for Wii, for Switch. I mean.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about getting it too. I haven't played a Sonic game in a long time, and if I'm gonna pick one up, I might as well pick up the best one. So.
Yeah, I mean, even though I have this kind of feeling that it's one of those games that'll just show up on Game Pass or PSN Plus one day pretty easily, or cheap in a few weeks.
Yeah, and that's the thing is also like I'm pretty sure I could pick that game up in 6 months after it releases for like $8 at a bargain bin somewhere.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't know if I really want to pay full price. I'll have to wait and see like what the updates are and stuff. But from what I hear, it's 1080p 60 on 60 frames on Switch. Is what I think they're.
Oh wow, for the Switch.
With the trailer show. I mean, not that impressive considering it was a Wii game.
Yeah, I'm just not sure I'll get it on the Switch though.
Yeah, it depends.
Like I don't know. For me, like Sonic feels like it should be on the Switch. It just feels like a Switch franchise, but. I don't know, but playing it in 4K would almost be better. So
well, I mean, if it's like 4K 120, but I don't know if it will be. It might be 1080 60 across the board.
Well, then that's just garbage.
Yeah, I mean, I just mean if the difference for me isn't huge between the Switch version and the Xbox or Xbox One X version, I'll get the Switch version by default. Better controller, portable on my main system. Like I got Cyber Ninja on Switch, but where it really matters, like something like. What's a game like Doom Eternal? I'm not going to get that on Switch.
No, yeah. You and I are just very different people. Like the fact that you even said the Switch is your main system is very interesting to me. Like that, I'm the complete opposite.
Really?
Yeah. The Switch is like my, the exclusive Nintendo games, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I'd say it's pretty much my main system. But anyways, Okay, so there's more Sonic news. There's a new Sonic coming in 2022.
Yep.
They didn't show anything or really reveal anything.
Didn't show anything, but I did read some rumors about some guy apparently test played it, and there were some rumors going around.
I heard
You
about
know,
the open world or whatever.
yeah,
What was
open
it?
world. I mean, open world. There's towers like kind of like Assassin's Creed, where like checkpoints you can warp around. You have to do some puzzles and collect orbs, and then you do like when you have orbs, you unlock levels that are actually like the normal 3D Sonic levels, but otherwise it's open world. And then
Oh
I
well,
don't know.
doesn't sound it like just the word open world doesn't mix with Sonic doesn't make me want it anymore. It makes me want it less.
Yeah, the person that was, I mean, again, the person that was leaking it, take this with a grain of salt, said it he didn't like it at all. It was really really bad. So
Yeah, I mean they have not figured out Sonic's controls in 3D at all. I don't think, and
I
I
just
actually have no hope for this at all. Like
I just don't think people. I don't even think the developers really know what they want to do with Sonic. Like in my mind, the reason Sonic doesn't work is if you have to kind of choose. Do you want the game to play fast? And because if it's going to play fast, you got to play smooth. And if it's going to play smooth, you can't have all these weird, crazy, janky stuff going on, like elevators and, homing attacks that are 1/8 the speed, or springs that slow you down. Like,
I
it
agree.
should just be fast and fluid, almost like a racing game, like almost like F-Zero
I
speed.
agree 100%. Like it'd almost be like F-Zero meets Monkey Ball with obstacles and
Exactly, but the fact
yeah.
that they're kind of like, or I wouldn't hate it. I mean, if they just wanted to say, you know what, we're going the Mario route, and it's just going to be like a Mario Odyssey kind of game. Like
Yeah.
I think that's kind of like what Sonic Adventures is. I don't remember that game very well.
No,
It's
Sonic
quite
Adventures I'd say is more. It still has a lot of the racing kind of feel. Like a lot of
okay.
levels are
Yeah,
just tracks. That's why I really like it. So does Sonic Adventure 2, but there
like
is
I
those
don't.
moments that slow down.
Yeah, like I think a Mario Odyssey kind of game would work even if Sonic was fast, but just not like racetrack fast. Like it doesn't make sense. They kind of like have
Honestly,
the
I feel like a better developer like EPD Tokyo that made Odyssey or Galaxy could make an amazing kind of open world Sonic game that had it basically be like Odyssey but faster, and your roll would be a lot faster. You know what I mean?
exactly. Like I could almost see it kind of like Bowser's Fury, where it's just one big open world like that, and you just dart to the next kind of puzzle area, and then you have the platforming section. You just dart around, and you can kind of just run around for fun. But really, you're just kind of getting to the next area, if that makes sense.
Yeah, because something fundamentally doesn't really work with like moving super fast on along a track and then slowing down to kill enemies in a 3D space. Like
If
it
there,
does not work. Like Sonic
that is
Adventure had
my
the homing attack, but
it's the most unfun thing. Like I don't understand why developers do that. It's like they have a really fun part of the game, and this isn't just Sonic, but a fun part of the core gameplay, and they constantly interrupt it with an unfun part of the game.
yeah.
Like just
Zelda does that a lot too. Let's be honest.
yeah, and like I'm sure there are tons of games that like just playing the game is fun. And they have all these quick time events or just like constant stories. Like in my opinion, I think of Pokemon Sun and Moon. And I like Pokemon games. Battling and trainers and exploring and catching Pokemon is fun. That game was just a linear story of non-stop dialogue.
Yeah, Jordan said the exact same thing. He said it was like such overbearing story and tutorial and like lack of characterization.
Yeah, you walk 20 feet. There's a dialogue of 3 minutes, and then once you do that, you walk in a building. It's another dialogue for like 4 or 5 minutes. So I don't get why. It's almost like, in my opinion, there's been such a shift to gaming of we need to have a certain number of hours in our game just to sell the price, right? No one wants to buy or people often frown when they say, oh, it's only a 10-hour game for $60 or $80, whatever it is. But when they say, oh, it's a 100-hour game, I'm the opposite, where if it's a 100-hour game, I am almost never going to buy it anymore. I just don't have the time, and I think it's 80% fat.
And I don't believe that a developer can fill a 100-hour game with like that much meaningful content. Like it's gonna be filler. It's gonna be Ubisoft Towers, right?
Exactly. So I wish and that's why I've kind of started playing games more like the last one that came to mind is Devil May Cry 5. It's simple. It's kind of there's only 15 levels or whatever, how many levels there are, and all you're doing is beating up guys. But it feels really fun the whole time. There's none of that kind of slow. Oh, this is not a good moment of the game. The whole game is just crazy fighting fun, and it's short, but that's what I want, and I can go back and play it whenever I want. So I hope Sonic again does the same kind of idea. I hope they get there eventually.
I hope a lot of developers do, because honestly, even a game like some of my favorite games like Mario Galaxy would be better without some of the like those extra annoying stars. Metroid Prime, my favorite game ever, would have been better without the key hunt being I mean, I love the key hunt. I love it, but I just mean, okay, Metroid Prime's perfect, but Metroid Prime 2, the key hunt.
No, yeah, yeah.
A lot of games could, and honestly, I think it's a holdover from the past. Like there was this, I remember during like the PS2, GameCube, Xbox generation, there was this whole obsession with how long is the game, how long is the game, and like people would often compare, Final Fantasy to Zelda, and like it was like Ocarina of Time, it's so long. And like, oh, Final Fantasy 7 is so long, like, and it was all but the length of a game because once it was over without multiplayer, it seemingly was done. But I think, yeah, like you're right, times have changed, and we're not really looking for filler anymore. We're looking for meaningful content because there's so much content. Like it's like you're fighting for our time, and that's something also that, I mean, you could almost make that argument about a lot of games. Like even something like Returnal, the thing that makes me not want to get it is having to restart over and over and over again.
That's the whole another topic. About
that's a whole nother. We're getting.
I think that's a totally. Yeah, I think that's very different.
But I agree with Sonic though. I mean, every game could do better from trimming the fat. But I just don't think Sonic Team is like that capable of a team. Like they just, maybe they don't pay their staff the same amount or something.
Yeah,
they get the top shelf talent in Japan. I don't know, but the controls in Sonic, and you look at the controls in in Mario or many other games, and you're just like, what is going on? And I think that, to me, like, I agree with everything you're saying about length and trimming a game down, but fundamentally, a game has to control well.
I was gonna say the same thing. It's not necessarily fat even for Sonic. It just needs to feel good to play. And parts of Sonic, that's what frustrates me the most, is parts of the Sonic games do feel good to play. They really do. But then once like you lose momentum, and I have to start up again slowly to gain that momentum, like, I'm never going to be good enough or never memorize a level well enough to do the whole thing fluidly. So just make it really easy for me to do that. Like, it
feels like eventually they'll get it right, but it might take decades to do. That's kind of like Star Wars, right? Like, eventually they'll do it right. It might be in 2070. Hopefully I'm alive to see it, but they're going to get it right eventually.
Yeah, I think the fact that they're still making Sonic games means that they believe in something there,
Yeah, sales. But you know what?
I didn't. Yeah.
With all that said, Sonic Colors is actually good because you know what it does actually when it goes to those slower sections, it goes to a 2D format. So it does mix 2D and 3D really well. So it actually, that's why I think it works so well. And the 3D does feel like real, like racing. It feels like F-Zero, lots going on. So it's funny that all our complaints, actually, Sonic Colors is probably the one that addresses them the most. Even though I will say it's as good as it is still like an 8 out of 10. Like it's not, it doesn't go all the way. It's like there's parts of it that you're like, okay.
Yeah, but an 8 out of 10 Sonic is like sublime in the world of Sonic.
Yeah. And I really like Sonic Mania. Did you ever get Sonic Mania?
Is that the collection one?
No, that's the one that an indie team kind of like inspired heavily from Sonic 2. And like, you never heard of Sonic Mania? It's like a brand new game.
Oh, I didn't know it was brand new. I thought it was a remake. It's the 2D sprite. It's kind of like 2D sprites.
Think of it like A Link Between Worlds to A Link to the Past.
Okay, that's what I thought it was. I thought it was a remake, but I thought it was the same style. I just thought.
But it's like done with like new pixelated style. It's like they like took. Imagine someone completely separate from Sonic Team and Sega, who grew up loving like the original 2D Sonics, got to make one and like be like, okay, we know Sega has screwed this control scheme up. Let's go back to the way it was, but like modernize from the way it was, right? And it just feels good. It feels really good. I recommend it. Cool. If it's ever on sale, I recommend it.
Okay.
Okay, let's move on from Sonic because I feel like this is becoming the Sonic podcast. And hell no. Okay. So the other big news today, not Nintendo related, but this Horizon demo.
Demo?
Well, whatever you call it. They a demonstration.
Oh, like
right?
a preview.
It's not a public demo. It's a demonstration. Okay, sorry, a preview. Gameplay.
Well, demo.
Preview.
Sorry, just don't confuse our listeners. Our three of them.
Okay, there's a lot. Yeah, sorry.
Demo. I don't want people to. People shouldn't frantically jump on their PlayStation and try to download a Horizon demo. There is no demo for people to download.
Okay, so let me just start by saying I just watched this. Just now.
Okay.
So I haven't had any time to really think about it or take it in, but I thought it looked pretty impressive. I love the format of that video. I got to start off by saying I love how at the very beginning he says, "So I know you just want to see gameplay. Let's just get right into it." You're gonna see it right now.
Yeah, no hesitation, no like. Yeah, I
Um,
agree.
so I thought it looked
And
beautiful.
we're gonna talk about Dying Light after because I have.
Okay, you
Anyways,
got to
keep going.
get into Dying Light because I didn't get a chance to watch the trailer. I heard about it. It's coming this year. Dying Light number 2, right?
Yeah, but we'll get to that.
Okay, let's talk about
yeah.
Horizon demo. Sorry, the Horizon preview. I wrote Horizon demo in my notes here. Okay, the Horizon preview. You probably have more to say, so I'm just gonna say I thought it looked beautiful. Probably one of the best looking games I've ever seen. I still don't know if I would buy it. I don't know why. Something about it just doesn't. It looks like I'm just watching cutscenes. I don't know what it. Maybe that's because the graphics are so beautiful, but just doesn't feel like something about the feeling of the way the fights go down doesn't do it for me. But it's such a beautiful game. I love the underwater part blew me away the most. I was like, whoa. But you played Horizon, and you're definitely gonna get this. So what do you think? You talk.
Yeah, so I actually played the first Horizon when it came out. I platinumed the game, so I 100%ed it. And this game looks every fault that I and most people had with the first one. This game looks like it addresses and fixes completely.
Okay.
So yeah, so I agree. It looks beautiful. The graphics look way better. A lot more things going on. It looks like there's a lot more verticality to this game, which was.
I heard that, and they showed those big towers, but can you go up them?
I think you can, and I also just the fact that you have a paraglider in this game. You don't put a paraglider if you're only jumping 6 feet. Like it just doesn't. It's just a weird thing to do, like
Yeah.
in my opinion. So I have hope that there's more added to that as far as verticality. The other issues that again I and a lot of people have. One of them was the melee combat was really weak in the first game. It was like you had one attack, you did one kind of thing, you just swung, it didn't feel very good. And now it looks like there's a whole move set. There's different items you can use, different upgrades, different special skills in the melee combat. So it looks like you have a little bit more option as opposed to just sticking with the bow. Because the first game you really felt, it was a bow game. Where this game seems like there's a little bit more variety there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the other thing is this one I don't think didn't blow me away in this this preview. Was some of the character animations, especially like when they're speaking in dialogue.
Like in the cutscene.
Yeah, it looks way better than before because last time, like in the first game, it looks like they're kind of dead, lifeless dolls, almost mannequins talking. It was kind of weird. They didn't quite get the facial animations right,
Mm-hmm.
and it looks much better this time. I still think it's, when you think of Naughty Dog and Last of Us 2, like I'd like to see it get to that level where you're really feeling like you can see every emotion on that character's face, and I don't.
It's not quite at Last of Us 2 level.
Yeah, exactly. It's not quite
But
there
it is
yet.
really for an open world game though. It's like
Yeah, I again, I think it blew me away, and it's definitely a significant improvement. I would have no problem with it. I know how good we've already got it, so for me, it's like, well, that part didn't excite me, for example.
Can I ask you a question about Horizon though? You can go anywhere in the whole game, right? It's like Breath of the Wild, right? Like any stone, any little perch you can get to, or is it more?
It's a little bit more like, I mean, you can. It's a big map. But again, there's not the same kind of verticality. There's no mountain to climb. It's a little bit more almost like Assassin's Creed or Tomb Raider or Uncharted, where it's like, there's ledges that you can go up.
Yeah.
Imagine like almost like an Uncharted that's open world. Like you can climb up ledges on the mountain, but you can't just climb the mountain anywhere.
I see.
It's
Okay,
like,
so it doesn't have that because does this game now have that level of freedom though? Because with the paraglider, like, couldn't you just land somewhere awkward and then jank out the game? Like,
yeah. So one of the things I noticed in this game, I don't quite know how it works. But like they have the scan button and it says the scan shows you all the spots that you can start climbing. So it looks
I saw
like
that looked cool.
Yeah. So it looks like there's a lot more places to climb and a lot kind of more freedom in that climbing aspect. So again, I think it's not quite the Breath of the Wild. You can climb anything, but I think it's because a bigger improvement than what it was.
You know what? Like, it almost feels like that's like there's a difference between what Breath of the Wild did, or even with something like Red Dead Redemption or GTA does. That's different than this kind of like what Horizon's doing, and it almost feels like you're right, like you're in the open section of The Last of Us 2, right, where it's like kind of open but not, like guided. And that's the one thing I took from the trailer. Like, it looked beautiful, but a lot of it looked like, okay, can I really just turn to the left and run into the jungle here? No, it looks like
sorry. Yeah, yes.
I'm
sorry.
kind of guided a little bit here. I know it's not. I know it's not like Last of Us 2. I know it is open world, but it's like the way the levels are designed and the section, they're kind of sectioned off to be like, okay, here's this. there's that one spot where there's like the two tunnels. And it's like, okay, you can either run to the tunnels or run to the left to the water, but I can't just decide to like grapple up the side of that building. Can
Maybe
I
not
don't
up the
know.
side.
Like,
I don't think you can unless there's a grapple marker. No, but I think you're not. It's more open than you are describing.
okay, well, I'll probably get honestly. If I get a PS5 this year, that's probably a game I'm gonna have to get just for the graphics alone, like just to see that on my TV. You know? What I
Yeah,
mean?
it looks amazing. Yeah,
Like that and Ratchet are two of the best looking games I've ever seen in my life.
yeah.
Like hands down. Let's be honest.
The
Like
the
what
only
looks
thing
better?
they don't know yet, which I mean, I would be shocked if there wasn't a version of this, but they don't know for sure if it's 60 frames yet because I think the preview was only 30 frames. But again, this is a cross-gen game, so the fact if it's running 30 frames or somewhat okay on PS4, I would hope that there is a performance mode that can run 60 frames on the PS5.
Well, they were clearly showing the PS5 version today.
I know, and it was 30 frames, but again, we don't know if that's just the way they captured it and displayed it on YouTube or if that's actually the game. And we don't know again. You don't know also if they're doing a performance or like a visual mode on the PS5.
You're right, but
because a lot of games are doing that,
in
right?
4K, like show it off in 4K 30 frames, and then when you release it, have a 1080 60 mode.
Exactly, or a dynamic resolution 60 mode. Exactly.
But
yeah.
for me, to be honest, sometimes for this kind of game that's a little bit of a slower pace, I'll choose the 4K 30. Like for Jedi Fallen Order. Fuck, what's that game called again? Fallen Jedi.
No, Fallen Order.
Fallen Order. Okay, it's such a generic name. Like, let's be honest. But anyways, okay. Fallen Order. I chose to play 4K 30 over 1080 60, just because the 4K really does add that extra detail.
Yeah, see, I mean, I think
I
think there are some games where 30 wouldn't bother me, but if there's a choice for 60, I'll always pick it. It feels so much more fluid.
I'm also wondering how that game's going to run on PS4 because it looked, I mean, I don't know, like it looks too good to play on PS4. Do you know what I mean? Like the graphics.
Yeah, but
insane.
I think again, if you drop it down to 1080 and you make the
remove
pop-up
some
a little
geometry probably. Right?
Yeah, and the pop-up isn't as great, or the
draw distance.
Yeah, the distance. Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, I was blown away by that trailer. I'm super excited, and I think it's gonna be a great game.
Yeah, I guess I'll have to buy it.
PS5 first.
On PS5, yeah, PS5 first when I get a PS5, whatever that may be. Okay, so just randomly moving through some of the news here. I'm gonna save the most exciting news for the end, by the way. So I'm just trying to get some of this less exciting news out of the way.
I don't even know what the most exciting news is.
Oh,
so.
you'll find out. Okay, so the NPD released their sales for April.
Yep.
Did you see this list?
I glanced at it briefly. I think I know some of it, but I don't have it with me or anything.
Okay. Well, a few nice takeaways is number 1 is MLB The Show. Number 2, Call of Duty. I don't know how. Number 3 is new Pokemon Snap. So that's pretty good for like only having come out April 30th. So I only think it got about a week of charting, and that's non-digital. And then later, some other things on the list. Monster Hunter Rise charted again, which was impressive. It's like holding good numbers. Returnal came after Monster Hunter Rise at number 8.
But again, Returnal also, I mean, it came out on the 30th. So.
Yeah, Returnal had like 1 day of charting, so that looks really good for Returnal. And then the rest of the list is kind of whatever. It's the same old suspects, but I thought it was interesting that Mario Kart 8 now is selling better than Animal Crossing. So I remember last week we talked about Mario Kart 8
get surpassed.
Sorry?
If it will surpass Mario Kart, yeah.
Yeah, we talked about Animal Cross because they're kind of so neck and neck, but it looks like Mario Kart is going to be the continuing champion. I thought it was interesting. Mortal Kombat, which 11, which last week came in number 14. I can't believe this game is still selling so well. By the way, it came in number 6 this month because of the movie.
Oh wow!
So the movie, I guess, gave it some sort of hype. Did you watch the Mortal Kombat movie?
I did, yeah. I noticed. Did you watch it?
Yeah, I watched it.
You know what? I thought it was a fun movie. Like, I don't think it's a good movie, but I think it's a fun movie. I had fun watching it.
Yeah, I agree. That's how I feel about Army of the Dead, by the way. Anyway,
I saw that movie too. It's okay. It's like it's fun.
it's good enough. That's you know what I mean. That's how I feel.
Yeah. Did you ever
Uh,
watch the movie Love and Monsters?
no, I don't like that lead actor guy.
Oh,
What's his
okay.
name? Why was it good? I know it was nominated for
It
Best
was okay.
Academy Award.
It was okay. I mean, it was a again kind of a fun movie. But I liked it.
You know what I'm watching now? Anyways, last side topic. I'm watching a show called Mayor of Easttown.
Okay.
It's on Crave and HBO. It's so good. It's like a murder mystery. Anyways, okay. Let's talk about games. We'll do a movie. You know what I was thinking, by the way, to our listeners and to you. I was figuring at some point in maybe the summer when news kind of slows down, we could do a week where we like talk about movies for half an hour.
That'd be cool.
You know?
Yeah, I'd be down. Yeah.
Just to let our rabid fan base know what movies we like. Some other things I noticed on this top 20 list. It Takes Two did pretty well, still charting.
Okay, that's good.
I'm very, very curious how Super Mario 3D All Stars is still charting, considering you cannot buy it. I guess it's like the leftover stock, you know?
Yeah.
Ridiculous. Okay, well, that's pretty much NPD news. I don't know if there's anything you took away from that.
No, for me, I was just keeping it on Returnal because I think Housemarque deserves a win. Like, not that other games aren't winning, but you know, their first kind of jump into AAA. I hope their sales reflect that, and I hope Sony lets them to keep making their own games, their own IP.
Yeah, I agree. And you know what? I gotta say, like with Returnal, with this Horizon, with Ratchet coming out in a month, like Sony really has been on fire with their first parties on PS5.
Yeah, and
relative to their competitor, who is just like, what is going on, right? How did you not have anything?
I know Microsoft is dropped the ball in that regard.
Yeah.
But the other thing I saw is some news is that Sony's plan for 2022 is to be their best second year of a system ever, and be their best fiscal year ever.
Wow, best fiscal year. Yeah,
best as far I think in their video game division at least. Yeah.
Well, I think that's when they're going to be able to get PS5s, actually manufactured. They're hoping so they can meet demand finally, and then they're going to get people on PSN Plus. They're going to have tons of games. It's like every time Square announces a new game, it's a PS5 exclusive.
I know, yeah.
Seriously, like they're doing. I think they're doing a great job. And I mean, even something like Deathloop, like I think it looks so good. It's PS5 exclusive.
For now,
but like a year later, it's like it's old news. Even though it'll be free.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, that's the NPD. Pretty exciting. I thought one thing I saw interesting. Someone posted on the Reset Era, like a little list of like which consoles had sold been number one for the most amount of consecutive months. Did you see that?
Mm-mm.
So number one is PS2 with 37 consecutive months. The reason they bring it up is because Switch is now at 29 consecutive months. So like well over 2 years of being the best-selling console for that month. And yeah, so number one is PS2. Number two is Wii at 34. Number three is Xbox 360 at 32 months. Can you believe that?
Wow.
When did Xbox 360 sell 32 months?
I mean, this is all US based, so I mean the 360 was huge, right? When Halo was at its prime, like they were selling like crazy.
Yeah, but 32 months because the Wii was there too, right? So like if you add the Wii 34 months and the 360 for 32 months, like that's not enough. That's too many months.
Yeah, but the 360 came out before the Wii, did it not?
Yeah, but it only came out a year before the Wii, and these are consecutive months. So
yeah, but I'm just saying, it might have taken the Wii a couple years to get the ball rolling.
This might not be consecutive. You know what I mean?
Okay, so
because think about
I'm
it.
I'm glad we're talking about a stat that you don't have info on.
I know, because I'm looking at it being like, that doesn't make any sense. Because how could we be 34 months and 360 be 32? There wasn't that many months in the generation, and 360's first year would have been before the Wii.
Well, that's only 6 years of months, so.
Yeah. Well, anyways, I thought it was interesting how well Switch really is selling. Like we talked about it last week, but it could be the number one selling system ever.
Yeah, especially with the I just realized what your big news was.
It's actually not the big news. But we'll get. There's still more news before the big news. Okay, so
Okay, you keep going.
Pokemon Legends Arceus got a release date randomly on Twitter dropped.
Oh yeah, and the remakes. Yeah.
Yep, and the remakes. January 28th for Arceus, and what was it? November for the
Yeah,
remakes?
November 9th or 11th or something. Mid or early November, I think.
Now my two takeaways were pretty negative. One, I just hope that November's game for Switch isn't just Pokemon, but I have a feeling it will be. Like, it's big first party game.
Of course it will be.
Yeah, so then it's just like, okay, well, Breath of the Wild in October, or Breath of the Wild 2 in October, is that really gonna happen?
Yeah, October 2022. I agree.
Yeah, October 2024. You're right. Honestly, at this point, I think it will be that long. But the other takeaway I took from this was that Arceus coming in January is a little bit worrisome because I was predicting it would be delayed. I think it's like a big ambitious project. They should take their time and make it really good. Now I think it's going to be like a crappy beta you find for free on Steam.
That's exactly how I felt when I saw the release date. I was like, this game is going to need more time in the oven. And I think it's going to be a frame ratey, janky, small scope, 50 to 60 Pokemon, weak animations, problems all over the place. Like,
I agree.
I think some guy said it really well. He said this game is going to be the beta test for the next Pokemon game.
It's true, but I mean, like, why would they release this? Like, they know it's a big.
Because they know Pokemon games sell 18 to 30 million or whatever regardless. So why are they gonna?
But truthfully, okay, I was thinking about this a lot. Like, when Zelda or Mario like reinvents itself, or a big franchise reinvents itself, like God of War even, or Resident Evil, like, they have to do something good, or else the reinvention falls on its face, right? Like, if Resident Evil 7 got a terrible reviews, Resident Evil 8 wouldn't be first person.
Can you tell me a reinvention that didn't do well?
I'm sure there's tons, like Devil May Cry, the one with the younger version.
I don't know if that was a whole.
That was more like a re-imaging. You're right. Well, Donkey Kong 64. You could say Sonic 3D. You could say like games like, you know.
Okay, but now if you look at Sonic 3D sales, you're the one that told me Sonic 3D sales are ridiculously good.
They are, but not really what you'd expect from a Pokemon or Mario game, if that makes sense. Like, it's good enough. Like,
I know what I'm saying. I would want to compare it to the 2D Sonic games because I'm betting it didn't go down; it went up still.
But,
so
okay, but looking at all the Pokemon games, as much as people complain about them online, they all get pretty good reviews. They all get 80 plus usually on Metacritic.
I think this game will get an 80 plus review regardless of how good it is.
Really? Because I can see if it being as what you just described, or we just described as like this beta, 50 Pokemon janky mess. It'll get like a 68 or 75.
I disagree. I think it will be that kind of game. I think it'll be like 30 frames unlocked, maybe getting down to 20 frames or 18 frames in really big fights. But you know what? People, I'm not kidding. But I think the game will get like an 82 because I think people will just say it's Pokemon in 3D. Like, the Pokemon company actually made this game themselves. It's, the first time they've taken this on, it's not perfect. It's rough around the edges, but like, I can see reviewers saying those exact words. They're saying,
I think if it gets an 82 though, it'll still have to be good, somewhat good.
But I think it'll be, I think because it's Pokemon, people will think it's good. Like, I'm a Pokemon fan. I think it'll probably be good just because it's Pokemon. But I could see reviewers literally quote this and say this. There are a lot of issues and flaws with this game, but it's the first time we've played Pokemon in HD 3D like this. I'm sure.
Well, they did it in the wild area in Sword and Shield.
Yeah, but not the same scope. Anyways, I don't know.
I can see it not do. I don't know. We'll see, because it doesn't have that same simplicity. Like, I'm sure a lot of younger audiences that play Pokemon won't be able to play Legends Arceus because it'll just be a little bit too 3D dual analog. Too much going on for them. It's going to be a huge audience loss, and if it gets a bad reviews, I don't know.
I think it's going to be probably the best-selling Pokemon game of all time.
Wow. Okay. Well, we'll see. I just hope that what we saw was an early build running on an old Switch, and they have a whole pro version at 60 frames, and it's great. That's what I hope.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll find out.
Can we just jump, because we're talking about release dates? What do you think? Do you think Horizon, because the trailer didn't have a release date, do you think it'll still be a 2021 title, or do you think it's not going to make that this year?
I think it could, but I think it probably won't.
Okay.
I think it really depends like on what Microsoft. I think if Microsoft shows off a really because I don't think Sony has another major exclusive for this holiday. If I'm being honest,
Deathloop in August, and then maybe Ghostwire Tokyo if that's still
but isn't
alive.
Ghostwire Tokyo coming to Xbox One X?
Oh, it might be. I'm not
I
sure.
think it's
Yeah.
multi-console. Yeah, so
Okay. Okay.
that's not an exclusive, but yeah, you're right. It'll like it could be Deathloop and like the new Gran Turismo maybe, and which would still be big, and Horizon would be their fall. Like I don't think there's a snowball's chance in hell that God of War is coming.
Mm-hmm.
But on the same time, this isn't a big open world game. I think that I don't know because it's coming for PS4. I almost think it has to come out this year. For that to even matter for those
True.
sales. I
Yeah.
think they'll try to rush it. And honestly, I think what'll happen is Microsoft, like, I think if PS5 keeps pummeling Microsoft with exclusives and with sales, like, they probably will delay it till March or February or April or May if they have to, If they're
Mm-hmm.
like, hey, it's a huge game, it's going to send 10 million copies, we'll just push it till March. No big deal. But if Xbox comes out and they have, like, Halo and Starfield and another exclusive and bada bing, bada boom this holiday, I think Sony might want a few exclusives to really,
I think it will come out this year. And I think for the holiday because I think Sony wants a holiday game.
You're right. But they have gone holidays before where they just kind of say, hey, we've got our one or two exclusives and then we've got our. Because over the holiday, the big game on PlayStation and Xbox is, Madden, FIFA, Call of Duty, and Assassin's
Battlefield
Creed.
6. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like they don't really, as long as they get some, like, they don't really
That's
need
true. Yeah,
those
you're
big
right.
exclusives. Like, even something like Horizon, which is a big exclusive, isn't even big compared to those.
Yeah.
But I still think they'll want to get a Horizon out. Having a big next won't even be next gen, but to have a big exclusive will be good. And I think they're going to be supply constrained all year, both systems. So I don't know. It's a weird system. Like it's weird. It's like they don't really need to compete with games. You know what I mean? Like they're going to be supply constrained even probably in the holidays. So
Mm-hmm.
they almost can just kind of chill out on releases. But it's also mind share. I think they have to get the Halo has to come out, and I don't think Sony wants to look at Xbox as having like the major exclusives all holiday.
Yeah, because they'll promote the heck out of Halo. So
Yeah, and then the rumored Starfield. Although I don't think that's coming this year for Xbox, but
I don't think so either. Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if there is another one or two good looking exclusives for Xbox. But we'll see. We'll see it like in a few weeks.
When it comes to Xbox and exclusives, I always err on the side of caution. So
Yeah, but
I don't. Yeah.
But you got to remember, it's like Bethesda usually would have like a game or two every year.
Yeah, but that's Deathloop and Ghostwire Tokyo.
Yeah, you're right. But I mean, sometimes they have three games, and also they have games they're going to show for next year. Like it will regardless. We'll. I guess is this our last time to talk before E3? No, next time we still have one more discussion.
The next
before
time we
E3.
do it is like the Thursday before the weekend of E3.
Yeah. Okay. So we don't really need to get deep into our E3 predictions right now.
No, yeah, no.
But I think it'll be an amazing E3 all around, which takes us to one of our next news items, not the last news item. Switch Pro is coming really soon, according to Bloomberg and many other leakers, including Emily Rogers. She said it could be announced anytime. So
Imminently, I think she
imminently,
said,
like before. And the rumor I heard was that they want to show it off before E3 so that developers can show off at E3, their big games that kind of run in 4K. And the thing that I heard is that it might. This is totally just scrubbing through words really quickly, but that it might have an exclusive. Like you can make your game exclusively for Switch Pro.
Oh wow, that's interesting.
But only optional though. Every other game would run on both, but if you want, you can make a Switch Pro exclusive. But we'll see. I don't know if it'll do that. I think that's just a discussion point, but I think it very well could. It makes sense, especially for third parties, right? Because like it's one thing to ask a third party, hey, put The Witcher on our system, but it's like put The Witcher on both of our weaker systems,
Yeah,
like panic button times 2 for every game. I just don't think that's really going to happen. And I know it's easier on the Xbox setup with Series S and Series X, but I think it will be a little more powerful, and it'll have the OLED screen. I'm excited. Like the moment they announce it, I'm more nervous actually because I don't want them to announce it and me not be able to get a pre-order.
Yeah, pre-orders don't happen the moment they announce. So
Didn't they do that with PS5?
no.
Oh, I thought they announced it or did the reveal of it, and then right after they were like, "Okay,
No,
now's the
that
time."
then I think they announced a pre-order date, but then I think some stores like screwed up. There's something that the stores messed up.
So how do you think they're gonna do it then? Like, I know that with the Switch,
So
you had to go to the store to pre-order.
they're gonna do the same way online that they've done with the PS5. They're gonna be tweets, and then it'll say it goes live on Friday at 10 a.m. and then you refresh at Friday at 10 a.m. and hope you get before the bots do. So
Wow, I kind of missed the old way where it was like, "Hey, this is the day that you can make a pre-order in stores.
you
Stores
can
will have
still
pre-order."
you can still do that at EB if the stores are open.
Which they,
So
God, probably won't be, will they?
well, they're open right now. So
EB Games,
yeah, I have a pre-order. I'm gonna go pick it up in a couple weeks.
the store's open. You can go inside. I thought it's non-essential.
You're allowed to be at 25% capacity.
So is Value Village allowed to open?
Again, I don't. It depends on where it is and stuff. Like I don't know all the rules,
Okay.
but I have to read them.
'Cause,
But
I mean-
I phoned the EB and I said, "Are you guys open?" Like, yeah, we are open and open for curbside, but you can also come in if there's because we have a storefront.
And pick a game up off the shelf and browse and everything.
I think you have to go and talk to the cashier. I don't. Again, I didn't go into the store, but that's what the guy said on the phone. He said we are open.
That's my preferred way to do it because then I can just be there at so early in the morning, right?
Yeah.
And then I don't have to wait for a shipping on the day. I can literally go there so early in the morning on the release day. That's that's why I do it. I've done that with every console. So God, I hope I can because I'll be so pissed off if I can't get it. Like I'll end up paying more money for it. I'll end up paying more money for it.
I'm not even sure I'm gonna get it, to be honest.
Well, if they announce it and because I mean I might be at work. If you're home and you see a pre-order, just pre-order it. And I'll pay you for it.
Yeah, of course. But I mean, if I pre-order, I might still keep it.
But if you can pre-order, try to pre-order it too.
Yeah, of course. I'm gonna. Yeah.
Because like they're saying, it could be any moment. Like it could be right now. We just like finished this podcast and then we missed out. We missed out on pre-ordering. I'm actually checking right now. Oh my God, they announced it.
No,
Oh
they
my
didn't.
God. I'm just kidding.
I'm just not sure if I'm gonna get it because to me, I don't really care about graphics when it comes to the Switch. So it would need a really good exclusive or like. It had to sell me on it to get it day one.
I think the big thing for me is the OLED screen and having the no bezel on the actual Switch, which is the rumor, right?
But I don't ever play handheld, so it means nothing to me.
And you wouldn't if this was the case? Why don't you ever play handheld?
I just don't. There's never a time I need to play that system in a handheld mode. I'm always at a TV.
True. Okay. I do. I mean, I just think having that handheld, I like it, but that's or different. That's why I'm surprised you wouldn't want better graphics. I'm surprised you wouldn't want to play the new Breath of the Wild 2.
So again, if
graphics.
if it really sold me on it, then sure. But again, it's like I thought Breath of the Wild 1's graphics were fine. I don't need that much better than that. So
if I knew it could run Breath of the Wild 2 at a marginally better frame rate, I would. That'd be the difference for me. Like
Yeah,
60 versus 30 or 40. Even if it just like didn't chug a few times.
But again, you're like the most hardcore Nintendo fan there is. Like you are so hardcore.
No, there's
about Nintendo.
more hardcore. But like, if you're gonna spend so many hours, like, here's the thing. I know I'm gonna want it eventually, and if I'm gonna spend so many hours playing these games, I'd rather do them in the best way I can. And as well, I'm hoping that it can actually up-res and play all the games that are already released on Switch better. I don't know if that's possible.
Why didn't you buy like an 8K TV?
Well, to me that's disgusting, and nothing runs in 8K. Like there's no.
Okay, well, why didn't you buy an 80-inch TV? You know, like I'm just saying, like.
Well, there's a limit to TV. TVs are a lot more expensive than game consoles.
I understand that. I'm just saying,
It's a
if
couple
you're gonna
$100
spend,
bucks.
yeah, but if you're gonna spend so many hours on the TV, is that not the same concept? Anyways,
There's a
get
breaking
it.
point when it comes to spending like $8,000 on a TV, and also with 8K, like it's not like there's an 8K version of Netflix or an 8K disc you can buy. Like it'd be literally for like the most obtuse reasons.
Yeah.
And it's just like I don't know. I feel like I got the best possible TV for.
Anyways,
gaming, you know?
I was someone that when the Switch was announced and I saw the Switch and saw what it could do, I was hesitant to pre-order it, and then when pre-orders opened, I pre-ordered one and got it day one. So I feel
I
like,
remember that we both were like, oh, are we gonna get?
Yeah, and then I was like, I think I messaged you and I said, hey, like there's a pre-order right now for the Switch. Do you want to just like both get it or something like that? And you're like, yeah. And then we both just grabbed it like that moment. So
Yeah, but
yeah,
it was right after the January Direct because I remember seeing that and be like, oh, it's just Zelda at launch and like, oh, a new Splatoon, not much else for a while. I was kind of like, where's F-Zero? But then, yeah, I needed Zelda.
yeah. So I could see myself doing the same thing. And again, I know we've talked about this on other podcasts, other episodes. I think that they're gonna have a launch game for that Switch, and I think it will be Breath of the Wild 2.
Do you mean if they announce it next week?
I think they announce it next week or whenever. They're gonna say it comes out whatever November, and they're gonna say stay tuned for E3 for games or whatever, and then we're gonna have a game. There's gonna be a big game that releases the same day.
I'll tell you right now, there's a very good chance that it won't come out in November if they're announcing it in the next 2 weeks. Because you don't announce hardware like hardware small up. It's very unprecedented to announce like a minor upgrade to hardware and wait that long to release it.
Oh, so it's sooner. Okay, well,
Because it just means that no one's going to buy Switch now until November. Why would they cut off their sales for like 8 months? So if they're going to announce a revision imminently, like before E3, it would come out in like August or September.
your skew of months is very strange, but yeah.
Sorry,
okay.
you know, well, what is it now? It's June, so
So
yeah.
4 months.
Well, you said November.
Okay, so 5 months.
Well, yeah, I guess so. Yeah. But yeah, just typically Nintendo, the way Nintendo does is they announce it and it comes pretty soon after, like within.
Yeah.
Within
So
6
sorry,
months.
I didn't. I just meant. I think. Let me rephrase then, because I don't think Breath of the Wild 2 will come that early. I think they'll have a big holiday game, graphically, like a big. I think Breath of the Wild 2 is coming this year. That's what I think.
Okay. I'm like so 50-50.
Or if it's not Breath of the Wild 2, then it's gonna be Bayonetta 3 or I mean, there's no way this, but Metroid Prime 4, one of these big games to get all their big fans, early adopting fans, to buy that system day one to play their graphically amazing game 4K day one.
Okay. You know what? I think the holidays is going to be amazing for Switch. This is what the lineup. This is the lineup, though. Hear me now. This is what it will be. Okay.
Yeah, Pokemon Diamond and Silver, or Diamond and Pearl remake.
It'll be Pokemon Diamond and Pearl remake. It'll be the 2D Metroid. That's rumored. It'll be Mario Party. It'll be Bayonetta 3.
Oh my god. You are so,
and that's it.
I disagree completely.
Those are the exclusives.
Okay, we'll see.
And one of those probably will be Bayonetta 3 or something that comes out the same day as the Switch Pro.
Yeah, I could see it being Bayonetta 3, but I don't see the Metroid. I don't know.
Well, that takes us to the final piece of news that's so exciting. You didn't hear about it?
No.
Okay, you're clearly not in those Nintendo threads.
Okay, well, hit me with
lurk
it.
in the threads.
Again,
basically,
you are
Emily
hardcore.
Rogers, who's been a spot on leaker for years now, basically now confirming there's a Metroid coming. She's like, it's basically happening.
Yeah, Metroid Prime 4. We all know about it.
No, like we're gonna see a Metroid from this year, coming out this year. We'll be shown at E3, and it's the developer who's working on it is already done with it.
Isn't this the same Emily Rogers that said the Metroid Prime trilogy?
Well, she said in February of this year, she said that she's heard. Okay, this is actually the tweet I have in front of me. She said, maybe if we're lucky in 2021 can be a good year for Hyruleans and Space Bunny Houners. Like as a hint, because it's the Zelda, Pokemon. And she said in another tweet that this year is for Zelda, Pokemon, and Metroid. Because it's like, we had a lot of Mario games last year. We had early Mario games this year, a big one that's going to keep selling. It's not about Mario, and we're still gonna get Mario Golf and probably a Mario Party, but for the bigger games, it's a focus on those franchises. She says, and she says, so that's the other thing. I think after Skyward Sword in July, we're gonna get the Twilight Princess Wind Waker HD. That's been really almost confirmed. I think it'll be a dual pack. I think that'll come in the fall, and then I think we'll get Bayonetta, 2D Metroid, Mario Party, Pokemon. That's the lineup, and I think that will do 250 million.
I think that's possible. I think cut maybe 2 or 3 of those games, and you have the actual lineup.
2 or 3. Well, I don't think the Wind Waker and Twilight Princess HD is a big release. That could be like September 15th.
I don't think they already have a game in August, Skyward Sword. I don't think they're gonna fill 5 those from September to December with those 5 games. I just don't see that happening.
Well, it was similar in 2019 when they had Astral Chain, Zelda, Pokemon, and Luigi's Mansion, which was a huge lineup for them.
Okay, I mean, I hope you're right because
What do you
I
think?
want.
So let's predict right now. What do you think their
Why don't
fall
we do this
lineup
for
is
our
going to?
E3? Why don't we just talk about this in our E3
Because
predictions?
we'll have so much more. We have a lot of other stuff to talk about then. You
I
don't so basically you don't think this rumor is true. You don't think that a 2D Metroid is happening.
I think a 2D Metroid is happening. I'm not saying it's necessarily coming this year.
Okay. Well, the
I think
rumor is that it's coming this year.
okay. You just named like 5 or 6 games, and 4 of them have not even been announced. So I mean, it's definitely possible. I don't know. Well,
The only game that I said that wasn't announced was Mario Party 2, and that's just speculative because they haven't made.
or Metroid.
Okay, well, that's based on a rumor, and so is Wind Waker, and they're all based on rumors or Bayonetta
Okay,
3's
so
announcement.
so my point stands. They have not been announced. Like, I mean, again, I don't think it's impossible. I just every time with Nintendo, this is what you do personally, and this is what Nintendo fans do, is they always just create a disgusting slate of every month as a first party game that's huge, and then you
Yeah.
always do it. You always say, "Oh, these 5 games every holiday," and it's like it's gonna be this. It's gonna be Skyward Sword, the Pokemon remake, and then Bayonetta 3. That's what I bet.
You don't think Nintendo? You think Nintendo's just gonna have Pokemon and Bayonetta 3?
Or let me rephrase. I think actually the more realistic is Skyward Sword, Pokemon remake, Super Mario Party 2, and that's I truly think that's their lineup.
There's no way because for one, the Wind Waker HD and the Twilight Princess HD is like it was the leak. Rumor came from like IGN and like Jeff Grubbs and like or some one of those big names. Like it wasn't a Twitter leaker.
Okay, let's go back and how many people leaked the Metroid Prime trilogy that were reliable? Like 30.
Well, for one, they might still be coming, and for two,
You know what I would want to see, Peter, is I would want to see Mario and Rabbids 2. I think that would be an awesome game.
yeah, I know. I don't know. Not for me. I'd love to see that game if Rabbids weren't in it. If it was just like Mario Kingdom, same control, same developer, but they were fighting Koopas and Goombas. Like I would like it so much more. You can't even understand how much more I'd like that game removing the Rabbids.
Okay,
Like,
well,
it's like I like it too. I think it's a great game. It's great graphics. I got pretty far in it. It just there's something about like it feels like not a Mario game, you know?
yeah.
But it just feels like kind of like Mario skinned over another game. It doesn't feel like authentic, right? It's like I don't know. I would love to see those developers do something that weren't attached to Rabbids. I don't think anyone likes the Rabbids.
I mean, kids like them, but yeah. Yeah, okay. So anyways, I mean, I wouldn't be obviously I wouldn't be upset and I wouldn't be surprised if that your lineup was true. I just know that Nintendo often disappoints their fans because their fans have unridiculous expectations.
Yeah, but unridiculous would be non-ridiculous.
Okay, you know what I mean.
Yes, but you know what? I guess okay, but it all kind of comes back to these couple points, right? One, they expect the rumor or the bubbling of insiders that they expect 250 million sales this year. Two, that they're going to have this new console come out that you and I both have predicted will have a big game or some sort of big lineup with it. Three, all these games and developers have been working on something. And four, last year was rather slim because of COVID and the delays that happened there. And we saw that things like remember that big leak that happened in last June was it? And it was like, oh, Paper Mario's coming, 3D Mario's coming, Pikmin's coming, and that was basically it. Other than a Hyrule Warriors surprise, like they had nothing else. Like there was no other big surprise, no Labo, nothing. So I think this year things are going to ramp up quickly, and it's going to be like another 2019.
Okay, I mean,
That's my prediction. Right. I think it's gonna. I think it. You know, you have off years, you have on years. It's gonna be an on year.
Okay.
And also, I mean, they also know that against I don't predict Breath of the Wild 2 is coming this year. That's why I feel like they need to have these replacer games, and then you got to remember that to you and I, a game like Shin Megami Tensei 5 is going to come out soon too. To somebody, that game is such a big release, and Bayonetta 3 is not. And then someone else might say, "Oh, Rune Factory 5 just came out in Japan. That's going to get released here too. That's a huge game." it'll probably sell just as well as Bayonetta 3. Well, maybe. So like, it's all in perspective. Like you and I say
I'm just
Bayonetta
saying,
3 is this big AAA like
no,
mega
no,
monolith. It's not really.
It's not about Bayonetta 3. It's not about anything like that. The only, again, I think even your lineup is actually pretty reasonable. But if I recorded you 12 months ago and what you thought was coming out that holiday, it would sound as souped up as this year, and it wasn't. And I think that's true every year.
But that's part of the fun. That's what everybody does. Don't you realize? Every year becomes next year is going to be the game, and next year is going to be the sweet year because everything got delayed.
What are we even discussing anymore? Now you're like arguing something totally different.
Well, okay. I guess what we're discussing is leaping off this rumor of a 2D Metroid is like, what's the lineup for this holiday going to be?
I know, but I'm saying
Pokemon. Then
I know. Okay. Anyways, let's just agree to disagree, and we'll see what happens.
I guess you just think it'll be kind of a slim lineup, and you don't think
not slim. I think it'll be a realistic normal lineup for any console's holiday, not 3 extra games on top of that.
So, and you really do think it'll be like Mario Party?
If Super Mario Party sells 10+ million units, that is a holiday game. Like that, like that's how I see it.
I just feel, if they're going to release a 4K upgrade to their system, I just don't think Mario Party is the big kicker, like, hey, get your new upgrade. It can now do 4K. It has an OLED screen. It has more memory. Mario Party 4. Finally, the online works,
Yeah. Who knows? Well, we got to see. I really can't predict this until, for another 3 weeks.
It's almost impossible. And even in 2 weeks, our predictions will be just as what? Right? Because last week we were talking about Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong Racing coming this holiday. Like, it's like, is that coming?
Sorry,
too?
Yeah, I forgot that. That's part of the lineup too. Exactly.
That's part of the lineup too. It's Donkey Kong, Bayonetta, Paper Mario, Mario Party, more Smash Bros. Characters.
Oh yeah, Smash Bros. I forgot about that. I'm excited for that.
Sticking. So, do you think the rumor now? I mean, I don't know if it's a rumor, but Sakurai did that interview recently. Did you read about it?
I saw the headline. I didn't actually read it though.
Yeah, he confirmed that there won't be a Fighter Pass 3. This is the end of the game. When the last fighter comes out, the game is complete.
Okay, I don't know if that's news, but yeah.
Well, I mean that he like ultra confirmed it, and also I believe he said both will come out this year, both of the fighters.
Yeah, I thought that too.
Well, they're confirmed to both come out before February of next year, so I thought there would be one slipping into next year, but I'm excited to hear they're both becoming this year.
Yeah, I'm excited too.
It makes me wonder if that final video of the final reveal will actually make people emotional. Or even the final, like basically Sakurai's final Smash Bros. Video,
Why do you think? What do you mean his final Smash Bros. Video?
For Ultimate, like when he does the final like character breakdown.
Ultimate,
yeah, like when he does like, let's say when he finally unveils Toad, and then like says, "Oh, next week we're gonna show you his control scheme," or whatever, his breakdown, and then he shows you. He'll probably have like a little message at the end about, the moments, the memories.
Yeah, I agree.
It'll be heavy.
Yeah, I don't think Toad will be the character, but I'm excited for.
I'm still sticking to my prediction of Resident Evil characters and Toad.
Yeah, I think Resident Evil characters is a maybe. I don't think Toad.
I think there's just no possible character that can meet the level of expectation and hype, and the only way to do it is to
Captain
troll
Toad,
everybody.
I could see Captain Toad.
Captain Toad, yeah, some type of Toad. It could be Captain Toad or just regular Toad.
Yeah, I could see them doing. I could see a lot of characters.
Or Waluigi. I just think it has to be some ultimate kind of like quasi troll, and the Mario universe is the perfect one to do it. Like if PD Piranha was the last, or I guess it's just Piranha Plant. It's not PD Piranha. Just if Piranha Plant was the final character unveil, that would almost make sense.
Yeah.
If it was Corrin, or not Corrin, Byleth, people would literally loot. They must know that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's gonna be 2 third-party characters.
Really, what are your predictions again for the last 2?
Oh, I don't have them off the top of my head anymore. I would say I think Dante is a pretty good chance.
I really don't think so.
Okay.
I'd be really disappointed in Dante because it's like another sword fighting anime style character.
Sakurai specifically said he wanted Dante fighting Bayonetta. He said that himself.
But isn't there already a Mii costume?
Is there? Well, there's a lot of Mii costumes.
You're right. Okay, maybe. So you think you're predicting
I'm not
Dante?
predicting. I'm not predicting right now because I had to think about it and mull it over.
Okay, and what's the okay? Well, I'm sticking to my. I think Resident Evil and Toad, but we'll see. Well, I think we'll see at least one of them at E3. Maybe even like in 2019, where they opened with a reveal and then finished with a reveal. That would be amazing.
Okay, so my question for you is: do you think if there's a Resident Evil character in Smash, do you think it's going to be Ethan Winters?
No,
Okay,
I don't. I think it'll be kind of like Hero.
Chris Redfield for sure. Yeah.
It'll be like Hero is, where there's like four skins, but they all have the same exact move set. And it'll be Claire, Leon, Chris, and Jill.
Okay, that's what I hope for too.
Yeah, and maybe Wesker. Maybe if there's a fifth and it's Wesker.
I could see Wesker as just being the character, to be honest.
Yeah, you're right. I think of all of them, I mean, you just never know.
Like, think of it this way:
I had crazy predictions
Wesker's,
for Arms.
Wesker's
as well.
been in more games than any of the others.
Yeah, that's right. But I don't know. It's really hard to say. I mean, because no one, they could have just as easily gone with for Hero, just chosen one of the heroes from Dragon Quest, and they could have just as easily for Arms just made a reskin and had the same exact moveset with two arms. You know. So you never know which direction they'll go with it, but I think in terms of Resident Evil, like the movesets aren't as unique as, you know what I mean? Like I feel like
but it's not the moveset, it's the hitboxes and stuff. They have to, and it's modeling. It's the time it takes to model. Not you can think of a moveset in 12 seconds. It's time to modeling the character that takes the time.
Yeah, but I think they can all almost be like they can design them in a way. I mean, I'm not a game designer, but I'm pretty sure they can design them to be almost the same height and same general figure. You know.
Yeah. Okay. We'll see.
I don't think that like it's.
We'll find out in two. We'll find out in like 2 weeks. So.
Yeah, and then I think Toad just speaks for himself. Okay, well that's all pretty much all the news. I mean, E3 is going to be our next chat, but to finish us off here, what have you been playing?
I've been playing. So I finished Dishonored: The Death of the Outsider.
Okay.
And then I've now started playing South Park: Fractured But Whole.
Okay, yeah, I played a bit of that.
Yeah, it's fun. It's kind of like it's my relaxing game before I go to bed. And still chipping through Pokemon Snap. I'm trying to get 100% on that game. So
nice.
Yeah.
I liked Fractured But Whole. I thought it was kind of like had the Mario, Paper Mario thing going for it, but it just felt a little too like fan made. I don't know. Something felt off about it, and I didn't like the layout and how it all worked and the menus. I hated.
I mean, I played the first one, so I kind of knew what to expect for the second one. So.
Oh, sorry. Okay, you're on the second one. I never played the second one. I've only played the first one.
Oh, the second one. I mean, it's the same kind of game, but it's better made. I think the fighting is a bit better too.
Okay, I just found the menu design and everything really clunky.
It's totally different menu design though.
Oh, okay.
It's fun, but again, it's the same as the first one.
You
really.
beat Bug Fables, right?
Yeah, not 100% of it, but yeah, I beat it.
Nice. Okay, well.
It's like 40. It's like 40 hours. It's a really good game. Have you been playing that?
I've never even bought it.
Yeah.
Okay. I never bought it. Sorry. I haven't really been gaming all that much, but I did get around to downloading and playing Evil Within.
Oh wow! Okay. I'm excited to hear this.
Decided to give it a go. I didn't beat it. I kind of got to I think I did 3 chapters.
Oh, that's nothing.
How many chapters are there?
Like 15.
Okay, well I didn't do nothing, but I mean I played a good 2 hours.
You've done nothing. Wait till you get to like chapter 8 or 9 is the best chapter I've ever played.
Okay, cool. Because I mean I'm seeing a couple different thoughts. Right, I can definitely see it's like the spiritual sequel to Resident Evil 4, and that's why I love it. Instantly, because it definitely feels like I don't know. It feels like what Resident Evil 5 should have been.
I totally agree.
But except it's got a little bit of that Silent Hill-ism where like Resident Evil's a little bit grounded. Like you know where you are, you're in a place, you're in a time.
Yeah, it's a little bit more insanity.
More like, oh, you fell asleep and you woke up and everything's this. You know, like insanity. Yeah, which I don't love, but I think the story is going to go somewhere, or at least try to. But I am enjoying it a lot. The first thing I had to do, by the way, what did you play it for? Did you play it on PS3?
I played it on PS4.
So did you turn the letterboxing off?
I actually beat the game before the letterboxing patch came out.
Okay.
So like I had letterboxing, I couldn't turn it off because they only put that out in a patch like a year later.
So I found that at the beginning the letterbox was on by default, and I was kind of like, oh, this is cool, this is neat. And then I was just like, no, I feel like I'm just moving the camera way more. I just had to see if there was an option. There's an option to turn it off, and I felt like I was taking a big breath of fresh air. Like, it was amazing.
Yeah, and what's crazy is I don't know if you're gonna talk about frame rate, but what's happening actually in that game, and this is why people like hated it, is the game actually is running the graphics behind the letterboxing, so it doesn't actually change the frame rate by having it off. Like, it doesn't make it, it doesn't worsen the performance because it already is doing all of that loading. It just is covering it up.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm shocked they didn't have the option on the initial release.
I know, yeah.
Like, shocked. I mean, it's just I don't really. Side note, I don't think games should really have that type of aggressive letterboxing. Like,
I don't get why any, because I mean, right now in my mind, TVs already are at a dimension that is technically a letterbox in my way. My eyes.
not. I mean, that's not a letterbox can be anything. All a letterbox is it's adding black to reframe. So it's.
I know, but I'm saying I already have a longer width than I do a height. So
But
why
if you
do
still
I
watch if you still watch a Hollywood movie that's shot 2:35:1, it's gonna be letterbox on your TV, on our TV.
I know, but I mean, I almost. How often do you think I watch a movie like that? Once
Well,
a blue moon.
but I mean, like, I think movies are way different than games, right? Because games, like, I'm using my eyes to actually, especially on our big TVs, I'm like looking with my eyes on the TV, right? Like, I don't. It's not like the frame is set the way it should be. Where something like Resident Evil 4 made sense because it was released on in a 4:3 world. It made sense to letterbox and make it a 16:9. But yeah, if you're right. Our TVs are already widescreen. Like, I don't really want to letterbox any of that screen. Like, it doesn't work. It doesn't make sense to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm glad you turned it off.
Yeah, unless it's like some game, maybe like, what's it called, Life is Strange or Hellblade or one of those really, really directional games, or like an indie game. Maybe it's really heavily stylized. But
Yeah, like I could see like Hellblade kind of game. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, but this game, oh my god, turning it off was so much better. I am disappointed the game doesn't have a frame rate boost because I can feel that lower frame rate.
Yeah. Again, that game, the sequel is more polished. That game has more heart, but it's jankier.
Well, I gotta say, I mean, I got into it and I actually started to appreciate it for what it was, and it's really good. Like, the gameplay is really fun and tense, and I'm surprised I'm not finding it scarier, but I haven't really like got a ton of bullets and all that yet. I'm really
just keep going. There's a chapter in that game where my butt was clenched the whole chapter. It's
okay.
Like it was.
I'm really liking it though.
The scariest thing I've ever done in a game.
I just love how it really feels like I'm playing an extension of Resident Evil 4. Like, there's little areas where I'm like, wow, this is like what they could have done with another Resident Evil. Like, you know how there's that first town in Resident Evil 4?
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of like really just one strip, if you really think about it. Like, it's like one row of homes.
It's like, yeah.
It's not as big as like it seems. This game seems to be like fulfilling that kind of dream of seeing like how that could have been built a little bit bigger.
Mm-hmm.
And going in you can choose to go in a building or not. I really like that. At least the section that I played had that, and like I just love that. And but it's not so big that it's like open world nonsense. It's still a very guided game.
Yeah, it gets a bit more guided even after chapter 3. It gets a little bit more straightforward. But,
okay.
It's really some of the bosses later on are so freaking good.
Okay. Well, I'm really excited to play.
Good. I'm glad. I really, that makes me happy that you picked that up.
Well, I had to beat Resident Evil 3 to like move on to another survival horror game.
Yeah. So what other games are you playing besides The Evil Within?
That's it. That's all I really had time to play. I played a little bit of GTA 5.
How come you brought up Bug Fables?
Oh, because you mentioned South Park, and I kind of think about South Park and Bug Fables as the two Paper Mario-vibed RPGs.
Okay, yeah.
So when you mentioned South Park, it just reminded me, because I know you talked about it, but I don't remember you saying you beat it.
Mm-hmm.
What's the last game that you played that you didn't beat, that you like fell off of? Other than like Life is Strange 2?
I mean, I have a backlog of games I want to go back to. I would say Hitman 1, 2, and 3, the trilogy. I'm still on the second one. I beat the first, but not the second. And Red Dead Redemption, I put down. I still want to pick that up again. I have a bunch of Switch games, actually. They're on top of my mic's on top of them. So I have Astral Chain, Yoshi's Woolly World. I want to do a different...
Yoshi's Crafted World.
Sorry, Crafted World,
I thought you beat that.
I didn't beat it. I was like probably 75%.
Okay.
And I want to do another route in Fire Emblem Three Houses.
Okay.
And Age of Calamity.
Yeah, Age of Calamity never ends, though.
I know, yeah, but I just want to get through the story and whatever. But yeah, so those are kind of the 4 or so Switch games with Pokemon Snap.
I never beat Age of Calamity either. I got really far, and I kind of just got kind of samey.
Yeah, again, I'll pick it up eventually. And honestly, that's the game I would play on a bus ride to like back home to Toronto. But I can't travel right now, so I don't really have a need to play my handheld. That's probably the reason I'm not playing handheld Switch right now, is because normally I play my handheld when I'm taking a bus or train back home.
I think a lot of people are like that.
Yeah. So yeah, I have a few games that I have a backlog of maybe 12 games.
Yeah, I really liked Astral Chain, by the way. I thought it was great, like really.
Yeah, I got pretty far. I got to I think the 3rd or 4th like robot sidekick, and then I just put it down. I just picked like another game came out, and I just never picked it back up.
Yeah, that happens, eh? That's what happened. I started playing Paper Mario Origami King, and I actually was like liking it. And then Last of Us 2 came out, and that took over my whole summer. And then by the time Last of Us 2 finished, I'm like, do I really want to go back and play Paper Mario? But I mean, it was actually like, I don't know. It's a beautiful game. It has beautiful soundtrack. I gotta say, that goes a long way with me nowadays. Like, a good music in a game really can change it.
Yeah, I agree. There's a few games that have stood out music for me in the past little bit. But yeah, the next game I plan to buy is Ratchet and Clank, and I think that'll put even more games on the back burner. And I'm being like, for example, like, you know, I still have a few games I want to buy for the PS4, and I have a few games I want to buy for the PS5, but I'm just holding off because, like we always say, they're going to get cheaper.
Yeah.
And I have so many games that I still want to play that I own already.
Yeah. I don't know. Right now, I have so many games to play. I'm not really on the market to even buy any. Like, I don't even know if I'm gonna buy Mario Golf. So
Me too. Mine's just Ratchet, and then maybe Mario Golf. It does really well.
Yeah, like, it has to review even better than I guessed. You know, like,
yeah.
I need to see it like be really good and have really good online modes, or I'm just not getting it.
Yeah, and then after that is the game Kena Bridge of Spirits. That's I think a day one.
That's what, July?
August 18th, something like that. August something.
Okay. Yeah, I don't really have a. I mean, I really need to see what Nintendo announces, but it's kind of the next game I know I'm gonna buy is probably that has a vague release date. Is probably Splatoon 3.
Okay.
Because like, there's nothing announced with a firm date this year. I mean, I guess Halo Infinite, but do you even consider it buying on Xbox anymore? It's like I just haven't.
Yeah.
Like, I don't feel like I'm buying anything on that system. So I guess the next game I'm buying, quote unquote, is Microsoft Flight Simulator, which comes out in a week or two.
Oh yeah, that'll be a cool game to play.
Yeah, I'm really excited for that, actually, because I just want to throw it on the background, just maybe move the camera around a little bit, and just leave it on. Just leave it on. It's so peaceful.
8 hours into the Atlantic Ocean.
Yeah, and then just right before I land, just crash into a building. I don't think they have real. I think once you crash, like, the screen just goes black. I don't think there's like you can like blow up.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Do 9/11s. Cool. Okay.
Like, yeah. Okay.
Cool. Okay. Well, I don't know. I guess that's it for this week.
Yeah. So stay tuned, listeners. Just so you know, our next episode will be on E3 predictions, and then we'll follow that up a couple days later with our thoughts on the actual E3 presentation. So you don't want to miss those. So make sure you like and subscribe and follow at the bottom.
Oh, and leave us questions.
Yeah. Maybe if we get enough questions over the next couple of years, maybe we can do a Q&A on one of our episodes.
Yeah. Whoever's listening to this, ask us a question. Be our first question. Don't solicit us to a porn site, please.
Yeah.
It's not a
got
question.
enough of those.
Okay, Derek. Have a good week. I will talk to you soon.
Okay. Take care.
Bye.